Jeffrey, let me get some Thugs Passion, cuz. Where that Cristal and Alizé at, cuz?
Well, this all started from Harrison Bucker, and fuck Harrison Bucker. It's your fault, brother.
Whoever he is.
Yeah. You said you had cameras in the car. You were shooting some shit today?
No, I had some equipment I left in the car from over the weekend. I had to film a wedding, so there was some stuff.
How'd it go?
It was pretty good, man. Like, I'm starting to go down the path of like pinpointing in more of like what I want to do and what I don't want to do, and like what's gonna make my life easier and financially easier. So like I was always doing weddings among the other things that I do, but like now I'm trying to like dive in a little deeper, you know. Like over the years I've done a decent amount, but over like the last year or so I kind of like I didn't step back, but I kind of really wasn't trying to film weddings. I was just like, you know, let me do other things and try to see what all I could kind of do to be well-rounded. But weddings is where the money's at, you know, like this,
yeah.
you know, like there's certain things just about the like will free me up to do what I really want to do if I just like financially be like, man, just do the weddings.
What's your dream film job?
I mean, like perfect world, I would just tell stories in a sense. So like the wedding thing actually does make sense for me to do those because I can create stories. But to answer your question, just like if I look at my future, it's documentaries.
Nice.
Like that's what I see, like creating the stories, putting them together. And now that I think about it, like even though I don't love doing weddings, I should probably do weddings because it gives you good practice to be like put this story together, and it will help me.
What part of documentaries do you like better? Do you like the cinematography of it, or do you like the actual like diving in the research?
The story, man. Like I've said it before. Like I've always been the type of person that like I like to get to know somebody's story about who they are.
Word.
Like a lot of times, I mean, over the years now that like social media lets you dive into people's lives a little bit more now.
What they let you see?
But like just in general, like I'm speaking like probably back in the day, like before like social media was big, you didn't get to see the beginning. You didn't get to see the rough times. You didn't get to see, like, I was broke for 10 years. You didn't get to see, like, all the doors that were slammed in front of people's faces. You get to see that I made it now. So, like, I like to hear the story of, like, the steps that people took to get to where they are.
Do you have a favorite documentary?
I
got one.
I don't want to say favorite because I just really enjoy
one that inspires you a lot.
I will say the one thing that always sticks out when I think about wanting to do documentaries is the VH1 back in the day when they did
behind the scenes,
behind the music.
Yeah,
that was always like every time I think about like wanting to do documentaries, that's the first thing that pops into my head.
That was such a dope series, dude.
Yeah,
such
like behind
a dope
the
series.
music, man.
But that's what I was about to say is I'm glad you're saying this because like I think that's your niche. And one thing that was popping in my head when you were talking is I've done a lot of interviews over the years, you know what I'm saying? And typically they're like this. Like I go to some like, you know, you came here, or I go to a place that's pre done or whatever. But I remember the first one I did with you. Mm-hmm. You know, we had chilled a few times and chopped it up or whatever, and then you hit me up and was like, yo, I'm starting this series, Word on the Street, like I'd like for you to be a part of it or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm down, whatever. But the day we were going to interview, he was like, where's somewhere from your childhood like that like you spent a lot of time or like means something to you, mm-hmm. or you like something that like where it started, where it began, what's somewhere that you would take me that's formative. And like, so we went down to the Pineview Park, and that's where we shot the interview. Word. You know what I'm saying? And like
it brings out a different energy.
It
right?
did, and like I really respected how you did that because mm-hmm. like and then when I watched the video, like everybody was somewhere. And like he didn't like go like, where are we right now? Like, is this the spot that like the best? Like we might have brought it up, but it wasn't like, it was just like taking that person to that time and that's like awesome. You said, like bringing out that. Dude. And just for like, I thought that was a real dope perspective to have on a documentary, because most documentaries are like, hey, come sit in this chair, I'm gonna put a bunch of lights on you and I'm gonna ask you about your childhood and you're this and you're that, and like but instead it was like, let's like go there. Right. Let's like feel like sit out in it.
It brings out something different.
It did. That's one of my best interviews. Like I watch it, you know what I'm saying? And both of us like both of us probably look back on it, because I remember he hit me up like the couple days before and was like, yo, you know, let's do this interview or whatever, are you down? And I was like, yeah, cool. But I didn't like cut my hair, not, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like, I don't want to say I didn't take it serious, because I did, but I was just like, I don't have a huge following at the time, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have a huge following at the time, so it's like, let's do it, you know what I'm saying? But like, so when I look back, I'm critiquing it in that way of like, and I'm sure you do too, it's like, damn, we had like a great thing and an idea. If we were just like who we are now, like always, like if we were who we are now, we would have shot it this way, said it that way. I would have fucking had my hair cut. I would have, you know what I'm saying? I would have wore a nicer shirt. I would have.
But it's dope that he didn't like bring up the location as the topic, right? It's like because it's like being at your mama's living room, dude. It's just comfortable,
bro. It was more for me.
He just
like
brought
said,
you where you would just be the most comfortable and talk
you
about
could probably
shit.
pull it up, but we'll pull it up because
it's cringy, man.
Cringe?
I mean, for me, man, because like even to speak on that, I wasn't even quote unquote a videographer back then. Yeah, like I was still like in my DJ phase, but like I always mixed multiple things together. Like I tell people like music is my first love, but like film is a thing that like has consumed my life for the most over probably the last 6-7 years. But like I was never doing it back then because I wanted to be a videographer. It was just part of music. And I knew a lot of people who had talent musically. And I was like, well, I'm DJing. I put out mixtapes. Just another layer of doing things with people who do music is to film. So like I would film stuff like that I did with you. And I would be in times where I would be in the studio with different artists, or people would be performing and they'd be like, hey, come to my show, and I would film that. Or just so many different things that I was doing. So I didn't see the vision as far as like, how can I make this look right? I just knew that I wanted to put it together. I had an idea and I was like, let's do it. Now that I'm a videographer, now like how you were speaking, I think about it completely differently because it's actually what I do now. Like if I was to do it now, I would have microphones. I would have put like a lav mic on you. I would have had probably multiple cameras so we could have different angles. Like it would have been so many different things differently now because I actually film for real now.
Yeah.
Well, experiences.
But I wasn't trying to do it, so it wasn't even based off of gaining experience.
Dude, you got to start somewhere. You know, you can't.
But I wasn't trying.
You can't blame yourself. Like, man, that was a shitty interview. No. Nah, dude, if you would do that, if you never would have done that interview and you had to do it today, it would be a fucking You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like I said, like we have shit that I would never show the world. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got cringy fucking videos, cringy music, cringy photos.
Please
like,
don't look it up.
We definitely do. But what I loved about that interview in that series is just like like I said, something as simple as like, let's go somewhere where it means something to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess like I'd rather watch an interview that doesn't have all the pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? Like I can watch a documentary that they spent $10 million on, but they didn't like put their heart in it. It was just like, we threw a bunch of money at it, and like nobody.
Travis Scott documentary. I said it.
Right, like nobody's getting
down. Whack as fuck.
Yeah, they're not trying to get to the story. It's just like, let's make him look cool and let's fucking show him peeling off in a fucking Bugatti. It's like, no, motherfuckers want to see like the house you grew up in that's got the fucking shutters falling off, and like, and I'm not saying that everybody wants to just see the bad, but like, everybody loves a story that's like
everybody loves triumph.
Yeah,
everybody loves a glory story, dude.
Every story should have like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like I don't just want to see the end. I don't want to just see the middle. I don't want to just see the beginning, because if I just see the beginning, I'll be sad. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll be pissed because you had it fucking made from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And you stopped there. Somebody that was born with a silver spoon, and you just stop after the first 10 years of them fucking having that silver spoon. But if you would have seen the middle and seen like their parents got divorced and they fucking had to mortgage the house and like they made it back out the other side and they're doing good now. So like if you only tell the beginning and the end, it might look like everything was gravy because the middle was fucked up. If you only tell you know what I'm saying? Like you got to have all three pieces of the story. And like one thing I felt like you always done, whether the production wasn't up to your standards or the angles or the lighting or the fucking audio, whatever, the compassion and the vision of the story was always there. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I look at shit. Like I can look at somebody that's got like super dope production, super like the whole marketing team and like the whole shit, and be like, but they lack vision. You know what I'm saying? Like if you give me all that shit, I'll put out the dopest fucking video, documentary, pictures of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like it almost makes me more mad when somebody has everything and does a shitty job than somebody that doesn't have a lot and does a decent job. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know as a society we look at the person that's like trying to get better and like just like starting out, and we're like, oh, that's just whack, that's just stupid, that's just blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And then we look at the people that's got like the dopest shit, and you're like, bro, I mean, they spent $10 million on this video, but look,
of course it's dope.
Of course it's dope, but they don't have the vision. They don't have to.
You gotta have both though. That's why I said, even though as much as I don't love a lot of my older stuff, I will say that like I've always cared about what I was doing. So I always kind of wanted to make something creatively, even if it wasn't exactly how I wanted to look. Looking back at it now, like it was still a good idea. Do you favor the documentary side of things, or are you into movies? Do you have like a favorite documentary writer, or do you have a favorite movie producer? No. No? I just watch so much stuff. I feel like I'm more into documentaries for something that I would want to do, right, than movies. Okay. But like I don't sit and like study per se, like who are these different people who do these documentaries. I just watch a lot of them, and if I like them, I like them. If
Have you seen the Tyler Perry documentary?
Something Son, or what's it called?
I forget the name of it. But I watched.
But it's his mom's name. Like that's the name of it.
It sounds about right. It was about
something Son, or like Charlene's son, or something like that.
I know that Dion Cole has the comedian. Mm-hmm. He has a special called Dion's Boy, or no, Charlene's Boy. But I forget what Tyler Perry's mom's name was. But yeah, that documentary was fucking hella inspiring. Dude. Yeah.
I love stuff like that. That
goes up there in one of my most notable documentaries. Yeah. And I gained a huge respect for something. Yeah. I feel like if you could watch a documentary and learn something or gain something from it, cool. Because documentaries have almost become a weapon these days. Like if the right person makes the right documentary, dude, it could change. Like when here we go, fucking political. But fucking Candace Owens did her whole thing against fucking George Floyd in the Black Lives Matter thing. It's something about like the greatest scam ever told. It's like, dude, she had a lot of good points. I don't know how you fall on that side of that fence, but I mean, it's just like, dude, I could see how that could like fucking. Well, I think that could shift somebody's thought to
that's what I was about to say, like that Netflix shit, the Making a Murderer.
Oh, like fucking great example. Shit. Great fucking example.
Like. And that's what one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, do you prefer when you film? Do you prefer to like drive the narrative, or do you prefer to like? Because there's two different types. I mean, there's many different types, but there's like two main types of storytelling or documentaries or whatever, and that's like you're directing the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like you're taking the pieces that fit into what you're trying to convey, and then there's like we're gonna just lay it out and let the viewer decide. You know what I'm saying? Like there's which way do you prefer? Do you prefer to like film in a way that's like we're directing it this way and I want you to feel this way, or do you prefer like we're just gonna film the good, the bad, the ugly, like the whole thing?
Can I tell you one of my favorite documentaries right now, real quick? It's kind of funny. The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Have y'all ever watched that shit?
No. Yeah,
dude. I've watched it like 3 times, dude. It'll fuck you up, dude.
Yeah, that
shit'll
show is
fuck
crazy,
you up, dude. And there's no message to be received, right?
Yeah.
It's just literally just showing a train wreck. And
Yeah,
you watch it. It's just like real
they're just
shit.
filming steadily. Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, dude.
So I guess to answer your question, from what I'm understanding, like there's the side of creating a story and putting it together. And then there's just this is what happened, and we're just going to film it and then put it out. Yeah. I would rather, as time goes on, I might want to do a little bit of both. But, like, for me now, I'm just big on the story of, like, okay, let me tell this story of this is where this person came from, and this is their life, and this is the good, the bad, the ugly, and this is who they are now. Like, we have so many people who want to do things in life, no matter what it is. You could want to be a rapper or a videographer, or you could want to run for president one day. And I think a lot of people don't see what it took for that to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, watching a documentary, especially for me, it gives you hope. It makes these people seem human. So, okay, this guy was once broke. This guy once came from a bad family. This person took 20 years, 10 years, wherever to get to where he got to. You know, all of these steps to make people look at to be like, okay, this person's human. Like, I kind of know who this person is now. And I want to do what they do, or I want to do something similar to what they do, and it's possible. Because one day they were nobody, and they had to go through all of this to get to where they are now, and I see that. I see the story. Because now, like I said, social media makes it a little bit more accessible that you can find out about people's lives. But, like, when we were growing up, unless you, like, watched, like, looked at a magazine, XXL or something like that, you didn't know these people's lives and their stories and stuff like that. And then even in the interviews, you only got little bits and pieces. And then, you know, like, I was talking to somebody a while ago that, like, a celebrity now is completely different than what a celebrity was back in the day. Like, lying. You didn't know those people. You didn't know anything about them. Dude. If you got lucky and saw them walking through the mall one day, then you're like, oh shit,
it's a life-changing experience.
You know what I'm saying? But, and that was also like, you probably had to be in a big city to even for that to happen. You have to been in like New York or Atlanta or something like that. You walked in the mall and you saw somebody. Like, celebrities weren't accessible.
Well, I think that's what drives some of the narrative on social media, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Because how many celebrities do we know that's come off social media? Whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, fucking whatever it is. Like, people see that it's attainable now, right? So that's where people get like, oh, I'm going to take this stance and I'm going to die on this hill, whatever hill that may be. And they're like, I might gain some celebrity out of this shit. I might gain some money out of this shit, you know? So that's why I think that's what drives some people to make, we're talking about documentaries, I think that drives people to fucking be so-called journalists and go into the documentary game and just try to fucking push their perspective on some shit. And that's kind of like goes back to the question he was asking you, like, do you drive the narrative, or are you more interested in like capturing the scene correctly or some shit like that? But dude, I think it's a problem, and I think social media is to blame.
Yeah. I would rather create the story. Yeah. And I would want to create it in a way of like how you were talking, beginning, middle, and end. And I feel like in every story, there's going to be a quote unquote like climax moment. There's going to be the moment where like I was homeless and then my dreams finally came true.
Yeah.
Or somebody super important died in my life and that motivated me to become who I am now. There's always going to be that moment where like something changes. There's always going to be that moment where it's like, okay, now we see where the story's starting to change.
What's your turning point?
My turning point? One of my turning points would be when my daughter was born.
Nice.
And another big one was when my grandma passed away. Like I kind of, not a quote, but I said this a while back. I posted a picture of, it was when my daughter was first born and she was in the picture with my grandma. And I was like, the moment that my daughter was born, I told myself I had to try. And then the day that my grandma passed away, I told myself I was going to never give up.
That's a great way to look at it, for real. Yeah.
That's deep.
So, I mean, I've always been a motivated person. I've always had goals and things like that. But I also had the moments where, you know, you're bullshitting around, you playing, you rather go get drunk than do what you're supposed to be doing, or a girl might call you and you're going to go do that instead. But like now, I'm on the path in my life now where like nothing really matters except for the goals that I have for myself. Yeah. Nothing's more important than my family.
Have you ever heard the story about, before I don't even want to get into that, what was your turning point?
Shit. I feel like I've had multiple, like I've turned, I mean, you've been around long enough to know my story, but you know.
But they don't.
Nah, but I mean, I spoke about it with him too. Like when my, when I held my son, my dead son in my hands, like that shit turned me the wrong way for a while. You know what I'm saying? And then what's weird is like it turned me the right way after a while. You know what I'm saying? Like it turned me the wrong way in the sense of like I was mad at the world, I was mad at God, I was mad at myself, I was just angry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not that type of dude. You know, never have been. I've always been like calm, cool, collected. Like I'm definitely a deep thinker, and I get introspective, and I could get in a mode where like I don't. Like, I need quiet time. And what's weird is, like, when I say that, it doesn't mean I need to be alone. I don't like being alone. But sometimes, like, you know, like, you could come through and we could chill and watch a fucking basketball game and not say 2 words. And that's cool to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's hard with my wife because she likes to talk. You know what I'm saying? And like, to her, that's bonding. You know what I mean? And, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like to talk, too. Look, I mean, I have a fucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? But... I'm definitely the type of dude that's like, I need like quiet but not alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I do need to be alone sometimes too. Like everybody does, I think. Like it's good to like put your phone down and just be with yourself. Figure yourself out. Like I recommend that. But for me, not too much of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I a lot of times hate my fucking self because I have like super huge goals and dreams and like and like if something's not going the way I think it should go, and pretty much nothing ever is because I'm fucking like you know what I mean, like I don't want to say a perfectionist, but I'm like this shit's gotta go good like if I'm into it, I'm fucking into it. So like I can get super down on myself. Like if I spend 5 minutes fucking doing something that's not conducive or productive to what I'm trying to do in life, then I'm instantly like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like you sat here, you just spent 20 fucking minutes scrolling on your phone. You know what the fuck you could do with 20 minutes? You know what I'm saying? You could edit half of a fucking podcast. You could shoot 2 fucking verses. You could fucking write half a verse. You could take some pictures. You can go swing your daughter on the swing. Like let's get away from my dreams and go. But that was a turning point for the bad and then for the good. But having my kids, obviously, you know, when my dad fucking got in his accident, I've had like a bunch of turning points. But I think that the main one was the one I said when I held Micah, and that turned me bad and in a dark place. And then like I realized like Caden coming like turned that back around. You know what I'm saying? When I had my second son, I was like, oh shit, like, I can't keep mourning. I can keep mourning. I can't keep mourning, but I can keep grieving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just sit here and be sad about this shit. I have a son that I need to like pour into. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and then with my dad. So after that, I wouldn't say I turned anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of like, cause I turned to like going up, but I kind of just, you know what I'm saying? My dad got hurt. I'm just like, okay, I gotta get better on this path. You know what I'm saying? Like when my dad almost died, I was like, I'm doing well, but I gotta do a little better because, you know, I thought everything was good. You know, the fucking life has a way of doing that. Yeah. But I really want to tell you, what was your turning point before we move on? Because I don't think that's fair. Like you said his, I said mine. But
I mean, I like to say that my kids, and they definitely did. Like my son being born definitely changed me around. But I would say losing Jerry. That was a rough one. That was young. It's like kind of like similar to your Micah situation. It happens to you when you're young. Yeah, and you realize what the world really is. My friend Jerry, he was killed in 2001 by a drunk driver, dude. He was like, he had me on this. He introduced me to the dance scene and shit. I don't know if we go too far into all of that shit, but yeah, that was definitely a turning point because I turned the same way you did with Micah. I got real mad. Because when you're young, you don't understand like something so devastating happening to you personally. You know what I'm saying? So you turn against the world. You're mad at the higher power God. You're mad at people. You're mad at the world, and then I think spending that time in that mindset, that angry shit. Like as you mature, you realize like it's a weird acceptance. It's a weird like acceptance is probably even the right word, but you almost just like it happened. I don't want to say this sounds fucked up. Feel guilty saying it, but like you don't like accept it or get over it, but you're just like it happened. You're like it made me. There are people in this world that don't experience that. God bless them. Thank God you don't have to experience such a traumatic loss at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that it's almost good that we have experienced that shit at young ages because we know what the world really is, and we know how to like approach things in a manner, I don't want to say logical versus emotional, but like you learn to just like it changes you for the better eventually.
Yeah, it should. I mean, there's things that are gonna happen to everybody. Like we're all gonna have problems and troubles and struggles and traumas and stuff like that. And then I feel like some people go to the left, some people go to the right. If you go this way, like you let it consume you, you let it tear you down. That's why
it's called a turning point.
It lets you go through everything, making life harder for yourself.
It's a make or break moment, dude.
And then you go this way, and you're like, okay, this is gonna motivate me. This is gonna push me. This is gonna make me stronger. Like my grandmother passing away, my daughter being born, that makes me realize like, okay, like get on your shit. Yeah. Do what you got to do. Yeah,
my son being
work
born,
harder.
Same way. When my son was born, it was like I didn't really have much shit going on in life. I was young. I was like 19. Yeah. So I was young. I didn't have shit going on. I had a little job and shit. But it was just one of those moments where you just realize that life ain't about you no more. Yeah. It's like I don't give a fuck what I have to do, what I have to endure. I mean, to a reason. Right. I'm not gonna start filming gay porn to feed my kids, but you know what I'm saying. But you will do some shit that is
you
out.
Probably would. Outside. You kill somebody. Oh, filming it or like being
starring
filmed doing it. Okay, yeah. You said filming it. I was like,
I'll videotape motherfucker. Suck all the dicks you want, dude. But I mean, but like no, I think your kids being born, you either have we know people personally that have looked at that box of responsibility and either went, fuck that. I want nothing to do with that. I'll do anything to avoid it. I'll sabotage my baby mama. I'll do anything. Or I'm like, nothing else in the world matters. Yeah. More than
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was about to say is that a lot of times having kids are the turning point. Like most people, and especially good people, and I don't know your whole story, but I know a good bit of it, and I know a lot of your story. But
most of it.
Growing up, like, we all have great people in our lives. You know what I'm saying? obviously, but I guess what I'm saying is like today, right? Because we were talking about our kids, and like me and Raven trying to get my son Caden into college. You know, like we're pushing to do that, and I go hard for my kids. Like I want to like be there for them as much as I can. Like, and I don't know if it's because I didn't have enough of that or, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a big person that's like let's fucking just worry about the past and harp on that shit. Like whatever, dude. I'm my own person. I feel responsible to make my kids better than I was to do whatever, right? Anyways, the point of the story is like we're trying to get him into college or whatever. So I holler at Will, my homeboy. You know, I mean, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out for real, shout out. Like that's why I'm bringing this shit up. But I call him, and he works at OSU. You know, he does admissions at Oklahoma State. His wife is she's about to get her doctorates, and she does in education, like she got mad degrees, bro. This girl's so smart and put in the work, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, I called him and it was just like, because me and Ray were talking, because I ain't went to college, she ain't go to college. Nobody in my family, like close family, like you might be the only motherfucker I know that went to college and finished that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get him into college, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get both my kids into college, but anyways, I called Will and I'm just like, yo, you know, da-da-da-da, and he was just like, bro, I got you. Like, dog, when I got off the phone with this dude, I broke down crying because I was just like, somebody else, like this, like, I consider him family, but, you know, we're not truly family, you know what I'm saying? But, like, him and his wife going fucking really help my son, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally, tears rolling down my eyes, was just like, how fucking crazy is that? You know what I'm saying? That somebody cares like that, you know what I'm saying? And like I feel like we don't have enough of that, you get what I'm saying? And like it's real cool that I know this many people, you all of us in this room are men that came from maybe not having that person, that parent that really cared about you and wanted to push you and be there for you know what I'm saying? Or have that network of people even outside of that. And it's weird because we're like the first generations of fucking baby daddies, baby mamas, fucking drug addicts, and like we're a product of that. You know what I'm saying? And like we're hopefully trying to like create a generation of kids, because you see what's going on in the fucking world right now. Motherfuckers don't care. Motherfuckers are crazy. So it's like it's super cool to have.
It's weird that baby mamas and baby daddies is even a thing. It's popular as it
is.
Yeah, because this goes back to how we were talking about like taking advantage of a situation. And child support, right? So like when child support first became a thing, once people found out that was a way to quote unquote make it, oh, just get some child support, dog.
Yeah,
you get a woman, fucking trap some dude, have a baby, and fucking child support, dude. So people started taking advantage of it, and then it became a fucking business. Like there's a family court law that's dedicated. Speaking of documentaries, I forget what it's called, but it was the family court. There was a documentary about alimony and child support, and showing like how like crooked that whole situation is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? People just take advantage of that shit.
Yeah. But it's just like I feel like when we were talking about turning points and shit, man, it's just like today I didn't finish. I couldn't really like articulate the point I was trying to make, but I had a turning point today. You know what I'm saying? Like
this happened today, Will?
Yeah, I called Will today, and like that was like a turning point too. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's like
I love that guy.
Yeah, it's just real cool to like. I think when you take yourself outside of the day-to-day and understand that, like, I think that's what kids do for you. Is like it's the first time you realize, like, oh, I could not give a fuck because, like, YOLO, you live once, you die once. But no, motherfucker, you got a kid.
Yeah. So
you're going to live twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the fuck you put into this kid is going to keep being put into this world. So, like, you might die today, but your kid that is essentially you is going to keep living. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if they have a kid, like, you might live thrice. You might live 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the product of thousands of lives
Right.
that have happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what are we gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Like, we are. You're someone's turning point.
Ooh, that's a bar.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a bar.
we're talking about what our turning point is, but we might have been that turning point for someone else. And like, you can be is a great way to look at it too, because today, just by the way that Will, like, when I talked to him, like the demeanor he had in the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the you know, just the way of speaking and talking to me, like, he could have been like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But so, like, I don't know. I'm encouraging people to, like, be somebody else's turning fucking point. You know what I'm saying? Like, be like, bro, I got you. You know what I'm saying? When somebody calls you and they need something, or like, I don't know. It's just real cool. And I think that us as men and as fathers should, like, we got to quit looking at it like, fuck it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people look at it that way. I got so many friends and so many people I grew up with that just look at it like, fuck it, man. We all gonna die anyways. Nobody's getting out alive, and it's like, yeah, well, you got kids.
Word up.
And if you making them think that, fuck it, we ain't gonna get out alive, and just, I don't know, man. You know, where do we start this shit from? Fucking
turning points, bro.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you too. Like, did you see this shit with So to be our last topic, did you see the DJ that's got everybody stirred up in Charleston right now over that song?
What song?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
What song?
I saw the post of the video. I watched the music video, and then I saw someone else post that there was some kind of friction going on, but I don't know what everybody's upset about.
Me neither. It's stupid, but just to we
Clue
should
me
talk
Clue
about
me
it.
in.
All right. So Jeff, look up
What, the song?
yeah,
Block Bleeder?
Block Bleeder. BLOCC Bleeder. Just have it on cue. So what happened was, there's this song that you remember them boys from SMG Audio, like Hollow, Leroy, all them boys. You know Hollow.
Hollow?
But, yeah.
I know of him. I never met him.
Well, he part of them boys, the Thurgood boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got their own studio, but they recorded these boys. I think they're from Charleston though, and yeah, that's it. Pause that for a second, Jeff. Start it from the top and pause it. Let me just give the rundown. So there's a DJ. Anyway, this song. How many views that shit got, Jeff?
80,000.
Yeah. So this song is from Charleston. And it's like 80,000 just on here, and no telling how many times it's been spun by DJs or on Spotify or whatever, wherever they got it. But it's one of the biggest songs that's come out of Charleston in a long time, is what I'm going to say. But this DJ that has been getting requested it and spinning it or whatever, and he's a big DJ around here, put out a post and was just like, I've had this song on I've been in the studio, I've had this song on repeat, I've been playing it at all my shows, but I don't understand this song. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I don't know what the context is. I have no idea. You know, I'm not trying. He basically like saying, I'm not trying to hate. I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it turned into like a whole, like, you're a fucking hater, and you
Of course.
you can't stand this.
Because in this generation,
you
you're
don't
either,
understand
you're either
it
a hater
'cause-
or a dick rider.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
like,
in
you
between.
don't understand it because you're not from the streets and this and that. And,
You're either a hater or a dick rider, dude.
and first of all, I don't even want to play it for you because I already know what you're gonna say. But
Me?
yeah,
What am I say?
You
Shit,
gonna
whack.
say
It's just whack as fuck.
Man, play that shit, guys. Hit the play
Yeah,
button.
I got a bone to pick with you. Yeah.
Let me give it a couple seconds of this in, and we'll start picking bones.
The intro is hard though.
Yeah, that's that Halsey. That's that Halsey sample.
Yeah,
Ooh, that Halsey shit? Yep, you're right. What's this bone we gotta pick?
Alright.
This got 80,000 views? God, I'm such a hater.
Alright.
Well,
So,
first of all, before you get into the bone to pick, this I'll say as a why not Charleston? Like they have all these Kodak Black. I'm not saying he's as good as Kodak Black, but they have all these Kodak Black style songs from every other city. Like, why can't this? Like, I hope this shit takes off. I hope you fucking get your money. I hope you go through with it. Like, it ain't my cup of tea. The beat hard. It's a vibe, but it ain't my type of music. But at the same time, I don't.
Boys from Charleston.
Yeah,
for sure.
But the way they're rapping and the way the beat is, it reminds me of some Kodak shit. And like I fuck with some of Kodak songs, but I don't get into like you don't ever see me wake up in the morning, get in my car and put on some Kodak. So you get what I'm saying? Like if we're chilling right now and you put on some fucking Kodak, we'll vibe. But and I feel like it's in the same vibe, and I hope they blow up off that shit, because why not Charleston? Why the fuck it's always Florida, Georgia, California? You know what I'm saying? Why?
Houston, Memphis, Atlanta.
Yeah.
right.
What we talking about?
Get fruit.
Okay.
What's the problem? What the problem
This is the question I got for you.
is?
This is the
What
question I
problem
got
is?
for you. Because I support y'all boys.
Right,
I
right.
watch 99% of y'all's videos.
All right. Pop quiz after this.
There's a pattern I'm seeing with you.
All right.
And what I will say first before I like dive into what I'm about to ask you is, if I had to sit down and tell you like my favorites, they're lyrical
All right.
guys,
Right.
bars. I know
Right.
you like bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is it about, and correct me if I'm wrong, what is it about you not liking someone if they don't have bars? Because
No, there's plenty of people I like those.
okay, I don't know. I just see a lot of times when you talk about people, you say it sucks, but like, why does it suck? Because I also hear you talk about bars a lot.
I do.
Because everybody is not supposed to have bars.
I agree.
And everybody doesn't want
No,
to have
the only
bars.
reason that I'll turn into an old madhead hater is whenever people are are held in a high regard as a like they're the best ever. Like they're so dope.
Okay,
and I can understand.
high regard is the best in as what?
Okay, that's what I was about to get into. I could see how some people connect to some artists because but aside from the bar shit, aside from the rap shit, dude, I was in the dance world for a long
Okay.
time. We mentioned my man Jerry. He introduced me to the dance world, dude. I
Okay.
got into the dance world and I was heavy into that shit. And there are artists, not necessarily even rappers, people that I connect with that are fucking whack, dude. And great, but they make good music. There's good vibes.
What is whack? What is whack though?
Whack-
Because they don't
okay.
have bars?
Okay, let's get into this. Whack is somebody who doesn't put effort, like supreme effort into. Okay,
What's supreme effort though?
You're a filmmaker.
Okay.
What if somebody filmed an entire documentary on a fucking Kodak snapshot camera and put it out and everybody fucking loved it? It was like, oh my God, this is so great. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? A Kodak snapshot? He put it on a fucking reel and put it out? And y'all think that's fucking like so provocative, so profound and so fucking dope? You'd be like, nah, he didn't utilize any angles. He didn't utilize any fucking lighting. He didn't utilize any storytelling. He just took a bunch of fucking pictures, put it out. It's the same thing. It's the same reason if somebody takes a fucking paintbrush, looks at a canvas and goes, whack, whips it across, and somebody's like, I'll pay $10,000 for that. You're like, fucking why? It
Name-
was something so it's like no passion in it. It's just somebody who's taking advantage or fucking utilizing something that is that's when I get passionate about being like, that's fucking whack.
Okay,
He brought up
name
Kodak
some
Black.
people.
Kodak Black is fucking whack. He's
Okay,
whack
Kodak
as
Black is
fuck, dog.
whack.
Foolish. I
But
said
why
it.
is he whack
He's
though?
whack because he goes,
doesn't have bars. But have you ever
That's his
really
whole style,
like?
dog.
Okay,
Yes, I have. I'm glad I brought him up, and I'm glad you brought
this is
this
what
up.
I will say. Like I said at the beginning, I'm more on bars. I've said it multiple times. Jay-Z is my favorite, my GOAT, my everything.
Great argument.
Okay, so when I listen to people like Kodak, he's nowhere near somebody that I would put in the same category as a Jay-Z.
Okay.
But I don't think he's whack though. Because he has his own style and he actually says shit if you listen to him.
I have.
And,
I have.
And maybe over the years he's put out not as great content as he used to. But when he was really, really, really young, if you listen to what he says, he's actually talking about
okay.
shit.
I'll say he's
hold
hold on.
on. I think I can end this for you. What makes something whack to him is, okay, if we're talking about Kodak and Jay-Z, right? There's many people online, and there's a consensus that Kodak is better than Jay-Z.
But that's younger people probably.
Right.
Or people who are from the South.
That's what makes him go, Kodak Black is fucking whack. There's no way you can ever say he's on the same level as Jay-Z. And that's what, like him is like, because I've known him for fucking 25 fucking years.
That's my dog.
If somebody's getting all these praises undeservedly, like if people are just like, Kodak Black's a vibe, like nobody's like trying.
I'm with that. I like Kodak. I just
nobody's
Kodak
trying
songs I like.
Once you start comparing him to the greats, is when he's like, yeah, no, you
I
can't.
don't know.
You
Like
can't
that.
fucking.
The conversation starts to get weird because you have to ask yourself, who's saying that, first of all?
Me.
And no. I'm talking about like people saying
who's
about
saying
like Jay-Z,
Kodak's in
he's
the
better.
same
Like that's
shit.
usually
I have so much to talk
when
about.
I usually
I have
hear
so
this
much to say.
when I usually hear this conversation, not always because everybody's got their own opinion, but usually when I hear people say stuff like Kodak's better than Jay-Z, it's usually a young person or somebody from the Jay-Z was from the street too, so I don't want to say street talk, but like somebody from deep in the South and they're young. So like I don't want to say Kodak is whack because he's not whack. He's different and he doesn't have bars like a Jay-Z, but he has his own style. Like I think the thing about music that we tend to like forget a little bit is like there's so many different categories of music.
You're
You
gonna
have the people who are super barred up.
That's what I was talking
You're
about.
gonna have trouble.
That's why,
I call this motherfucker a hater.
have-
at
No,
least,
listen, that's why I
at
made
least
the-
37
That's
times
why I
a week,
made
bro.
the comparison
At least
to like.
37
That's why I
times.
made the comparison to you in the snapshot thing and with the camera and the videographer thing is because I write music. So I look at it like when I put something down, I don't just sling a piece of paint at it. I fucking stroke it.
Yeah.
Nice.
But how do you know that these people don't do that? That's just their style.
This is the Kodak argument I'm going to make, and I'll never speak about Kodak again. Before I say that, I want to get back to that. But before I say that, NBA YoungBoy's fucking whack as fuck, and he has a great following that people say that he is so fucking great. I'm like, he's whack as fuck. Anyways, the Kodak Black, that was just an example when you talk about like who that guy. The Kodak Black argument. I was in a fucking barbershop one time, right? And I don't go to the white people barbershop.
Okay.
Well, you know. But I was in the barbershop one
Okay.
time, and there was a young cat. We was talking about rap shit, and I was like, and he was like, Kodak Black, Kodak Black, Kodak Black, and I was like, oh my god, I'm over there just like staying quiet because that's my place, right? Just staying quiet. And then motherfucker, the barber that knew me, his name was Eric Brown. I think his name is Eric Brown, cool ass dude. He was like, why you rolling your eyes, bro? I was like, fucking Kodak. We talking about Tupac and Kodak gets brought up, and he was like, oh, what the fuck you know about Kodak? And I was like, dog, have you ever heard of Big L? Have you ever heard of him? And he was like, never heard of him. And I was like, okay, you've never heard of Big L. And at the time, I hadn't heard a lot about Kodak Black. This was fucking 8 years ago. It was a while back. And I was like, okay, so I'm an old dude. At the time, I was probably 30 years old, 32 years old. He was probably 23. Young,
Yeah.
So we're talking generations, right? So
that's
he's
what
like,
I'm
and that's why I fuck with you. That's what I fuck with your opinion about it, because there are vibes where you're like, I just connect to this artist for whatever reason,
Right.
But he was like Kodak, and I was like, okay, let's give each other a homework assignment. I see you in here all the time. Give me a homework assignment. Give me Kodak Black's best project right now. Give me something. I'm going to listen to it in the next 2 weeks when I see you again. And I want to give you a project that I want you to listen to. And he was like, Project Baby #2, right?
Okay.
He was like, that's probably Kodak, at the time, his favorite Kodak Black project, right? It was a mixtape, Project Baby #2. And I was like, I'm going to go listen to it. You go home and listen to Big L, The Big Picture. Not The Big Picture. Get Rich or Die Trying. Oh, no. God damn it. Not Get Rich or Die Trying. The Lifestyles and the Poor and Dangerous is Big L's first album, right?
Right.
And he was like, word. I was like, bet, word, whatever, we fucking left. But during the conversation, Tupac got brought up, and he was like, Tupac's fucking whack. Kodak's way better than Tupac. And I was like, oh, my God.
You're talking to young kids.
How do you
though,
argue
man.
with
you
these
can't
people?
really have that conversation with these
that was just a sidestep. I went home and listened to Project Baby that day. I fucking got my hair cut, went home, took a shower, turned on Project Baby 2, listened to it. I don't know what he did, but I couldn't make it through 4 fucking songs.
All right.
When I seen, but I'm gonna let you finish. When I seen him next time, I said, all right, bro, what'd you think? He was like, couldn't even do it, dog. I was like, neither. And the argument was null and void. Okay. Nobody can listen to it. It's like, it was just generational.
This is how I'm gonna flip it, and I want to hear what you say about this. Name somebody who doesn't have a lot of bars, because you keep talking about barred up people. You talking about Big L, lyrical people. Name somebody that's not super barred up, not very lyrical, that you think is really, really good.
Ooh, Kevin Gates.
I knew that.
You like Kevin Gates?
Not for his bars.
But you like him, though. You think he's talented.
Heavy.
You think he's talented.
Super heavy, dude.
Okay, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain people out there that, like, I always kind of think back of, like, back when we were younger.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay. A lot of people were like, Yin Yang Twins suck, and Soulja Boy sucks, and all of
Slim
these people.
Thug.
But, like, there's different
3 6 Mafia.
categories.
Come on, bro. I got this all day.
Okay.
I got this all day.
You're starting to make me see things a little differently.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of people, and maybe I read it wrong, but a lot of people who like bars, they think everything that's not barred up is whack. And then there's a lot of stuff that, like, I'm not going to say that, like, you're super lyrical and I listen to you and then I got to rewind what you say because you said something so dope. But, like, there's a lot of people that I listen to for certain reasons. Like, if I'm just riding around in the car and I just want to vibe out and I want to dance, or, like, if I want to just hear some street shit and, like, I just want to just go crazy, I'm going to listen to something different. So I know that there's people that I would never put on the category as a Jay-Z, but I wouldn't call him whack either.
Let me flip this on you. Who is somebody that you think is super duper fucking overrated?
Overrated?
Yeah, just whack.
Just like, how the fuck do y'all think?
Because I think that's the argument that you're making. Because to him, he used the word whack, but it's just overrated. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's
fair.
like
That's fair.
He has a problem with if somebody's super popular and he goes and checks it out, it's got to be good. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
I mean,
it doesn't have to be
stuff
barred up, but he's just like he said, like Kevin Gates, for instance. Kevin Gates doesn't have any bars. He's never said a bar in his fucking life.
But he's
you know
a
what I'm saying?
Okay.
But he can fucking rap. He's got a vibe,
great sound,
and
dude.
he puts time and effort into it and makes songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate a motherfucker that's just like, man, I ain't raised shit. Like, we can fucking tell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we can tell.
So who's overrated for you?
Overrated?
Who's whack?
Whack?
Fucking whack.
Whack?
Fucking whack.
Who's
dog.
whack? That's
overrated
good.
is whack.
Super fucking whack.
No,
who's super whack? We gotta be out of hour.
We are. But we gonna end it on who's fucking whack.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna be like, Rod Wave.
I don't like Rod Wave.
Whack.
I mean, I see what
Rod
he does.
Wave. I fuck with Rod
and
Wave.
I see why people like him, but I don't.
He got a single bar.
I don't like him.
Throw the party of the century. Hey, play that, Jeff. That's what we're ending on. Great Gatsby. But yeah, who's whack?
Who's whack? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't really
See,
listen.
You're too fucking politically correct.
I mean, I don't listen to a lot of. I don't listen to a lot of people. I don't listen to a lot of newer people.
What was your turning point of stopped and listening?
Like, if I think you're whack, I probably don't even listen to you at all.
Have you? You know what I've fucking found myself doing? I know we're about to end this shit, but I find myself like straying away from rap more and more these days to just listen to other shit podcasts.
Yeah. I'm glad you had a bone to pick with him, though, because I be telling him every week, I'm like, bro, quit fucking, why you gotta be such a hater on everything, dog?
It kind of sounds like it sometimes. And then,
I got my opinions, dog.
He's like,
I got my opinions, dog.
But I mean, I used to be like that a little bit too. Like, I used to be big on like, oh, he ain't saying nothing, that's whack. And then I also had to sit back and be like,
no, bro, we ain't even got to talk music.
You know
like, start talking about movies. It'll be like, whack. That movie's whack.
Step Brothers was whack as fuck.
Start talking about snacks. Be like, yo, you like fudge rounds? Fudge rounds, whack. Fuck.
But I used to be like that, man. And then I used to also sit back and be like,
you like Dr. Pepper? Whack.
What kind of flowers you like? Tulips? Whack.
Tulips? Whack. What, you wear snapbacks? Whack. You play the fucking guitar? Dude, why didn't you get a bass?
What, you can't play a banjo?
What? Fuck, you don't wear V-necks? Whack.
Panda bear, koala bears, cuz koala bears whack.
It works though.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out Sunfire Films TV coming through, man. That's my fucking dog, yo. Thank you so much for fucking dealing with all our bullshit.
Yeah, man. I have fun, man.
You stepped right up to the plate, and I like how you was like, yo, fuck it. I'm gonna speak my mind.
I came in here to, hey, you motherfucker. What you said was whack again, cuz.
Nah, I love that shit because a lot of times, like we've said before, like a lot of times people come on here, man, and they just like, you could tell like they don't agree with what we saying sometimes, and they don't want to be like.
I love a good fuck that guy. I love a good non-yes man. Like, nah, I ain't fucking.
Fuck that shit, dog. Never be a yes man, man. Stand on that shit, dog.
We're here to talk. For real.
Exactly. That's what a podcast about, bro. What the fuck? We can't just sit here. Like, what's the point of even doing it? I'm like, you like sugar? Yep. Right. Pepper's whack. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, all right.
Chamber,
nice podcast, everybody.
Yes,
we agree on everything we fucking talked about. But y'all go check him out, man. Sunfire Films TV on YouTube, all the social media, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sunfire Films TV, but also just Sunfire Films, man.
Sunfire Films.
Like, Sunfire Films TV is just a, what's the word? Entity?
Yeah, it's underneath the umbrella.
Yeah. If you're getting married, holla at me.
If you got
film your wedding. I want to film your wedding.
And he's playing Kodak the whole time.
Super Gremlin all night.
Super Gremlin. My
night,
shit.
bro. Wait, did you pull it up?
Hey.
Yeah. We gotta wait till the end. Anyways, shout out Sunfire, man, my dog. Shout out Cousin Sal.
Hey.
Shout out my boy behind the cam,
Foolish.
Young Jeffrey. Think harder, work smarter. If you want it to grow, just add water. It's the Water Pot. Peace.
We out.
Here.
She'll be there. A little glass on the bottle. Another melody in my head. A little glass on the bottle. Another melody in my head. I'm feeling unfazed, like a dog being unchained, a creature being uncaged. Bloody Sundays, but the memory lasts longer than the blood stains. I'm feeling unwell. Shit is unreal. Can't forget the way a gun feels. Love kills. Take another. I don't give a fuck pill. If that don't kill me, then I guess the love will. I'm feeling too many feelings, too many villains in my story. Feel like I can't feel it. Empty cup, can you feel it for me? Yeah, that bottle with the dust on it. Yeah, that truck with all the rust on it. It look a little rough, don't it? But it'll teach you what to trust, won't it?